Welcome to another exciting episode of Iokua Hates Everything. We're going to be covering Alan Wake for the Xbox 360 this time around. It's made by those wonderful blokes at Remedy who are responsible for the Max Payne series, which is another series I really should get around to playing one of these days. Yeah. Anywho, this game is one of those games where I'm playing it and I'm thinking, this game was made for me. It's like the developer pointed at me and said, we made this game for guys like you, for girls like you, for people who like this kind of game, who think this is the way games should be. The core principle of this game is finding the light in the dark. So you take on the role of a writer named Alan Wake. He's got writer's block, so he comes to the town of Bright Falls to get his head in shape to, shake him out of his I can't write anything funk. Bright Falls is filled with a colorful cast of characters ranging from the stereotypically awful to the hilarious to the creepy demon lady. Now, again, since you're playing a writer, a lot of this game centers around the central theme of story. Wherever you turn, it's imagination, it's story, it's bringing your imagination to life, which is really important, and it's just a huge thing with making games. It's a core aspect. Now, the basic setup for the plot is, again, you got writer's block. Your wife takes you to this town to go see a psychiatrist. Great vacation, huh? Get your head examined. Alan gets angry in his I just smelled a fart kind of way, storms out of the house in rage and frustration, and his wife, who has a phobia of the dark, winds up getting captured by Scary Lady and taken to the bottom of the lake, which is apparently like a place where a big dark demon-y thing lives. You lose a week somewhere along the lines, and then you set about finding your wife and figuring out exactly what happened in that week of time that you're missing. Now, you spend the majority of the game taking on townies who have been possessed by the dark presence that stole your wife. They become the Taken. And pretty much, the core principle is shining your flashlight on enemies until their dark cloak flashes away like that, and then blowing the crap out of them with various firearms. It's a simple game, and it works pretty well. There's auto-aim for, that situation where you can't really see an enemy. It's handy, but sometimes it also kind of gets in the way. And you fight enemies pretty much with everything you've got around you. It's a simple, yet it works. It's a simple concept that works. That's pretty much what I was trying to say before I stumbled over my words. Anywho, the biggest flaw in the game, though, is the almost complete lack of boss fights. You fight a couple big scary monsters along the way, but for the most part, it's The Birds by Alfred Hitchcock. Or, hey look, it's a slightly stronger enemy that can cloak itself. Or a group of enemies. So basically, it's just fighting lots and lots of bad guys with what you have around you. Flashbangs, shotguns, flashlights, flares, flare guns. As you fight from safe haven to the next safe haven. That's basically the way the game works. You fight your way from one lamppost in the dark to the next lamppost in the dark, exploring as you go, picking up things as you go, killing Taken as you go. So, again, this is the flare weapon, shotgun weapon. There's a lot of variety in what you do, but it's all that core principle. The gameplay is all solid except for one thing, and that's the random driving sequences. They're clumsy, they're clunky, and they really just should not be in the game. I don't know why they're there. Maybe it's to break up the monotony of fighting in the dark. Again, on the flaws, as you can see, I can't see a damn thing outside of that light. It's one of the few things that doesn't work. It's probably on purpose, but let's face it, it would be nice to see where you have to go. Anyways, you pick up batteries, ammo, better flashlights, and so on and so forth. There are a metric shit ton of collectibles in this game. There's thermoses, 106 of them, I think. 100 thermoses and 106 pages of the manuscript that you wrote during your missing week. It kind of tells the story of what's going on, like the background, as if it was basically the events as a writer would write them. It's a great way of, foreshadowing a bit, but one of the bigger problems in the game is that sometimes it tells you what's going to happen next, and that can kind of just ruin the flow of certain things, ruins the surprise. And also, to go along with the exploring, every now and again you'll stumble across arrows you can cover with your flashlight beam, and they'll lead you to new weapon caches, better flashlights, batteries, that kind of stuff. Now, 90% of the game is in the dark, but every once in a while you will run around the light, and it adds a nice, break to the game. Another interesting thing is you stumble across TV shows throughout the game and radio shows, and the TV shows are, they're either you during your week that's missing, or like a cheesy knockoff on the Twilight Zone. And they're funny and they're weird, and some of them are great, but a lot of them are just plain stupid. But the biggest flaw is that they're live actors, and the words rarely fit the lip flaps. It's just one of those things. It's weird to see Alan Wake right there and then see him in a cutscene on a, TV look nothing like him. One of the other weird points in the game is all the interface is in-game except for when you want to load or something like that. It then uses the Xbox, dashboard, which is a little weird. Yeah, it's Microsoft published, but still, Mass Effect didn't do that. I don't think Halo does that. Does it? I don't know. I don't play Halo. But this is an example. Alan Wake on screen, and in a couple seconds I'm going to show you Alan Wake in-game, and you'll find they look absolutely nothing alike, which is weird because Alan Wake himself in the game is based off of a European actor, and there's a music video for like the theme of the game that has that actor in it, acting out scenes from Alan Wake, and they look exactly fucking alike, like carbon fucking copy. And yet this guy looks nothing like the guy in the cutscenes. Alan Wake? No, that's not Alan Wake. Nothing like him. Not even the same hair. And it was recorded like the day before. Each episode is kind of packaged like a TV show. When you end it, and you start a new one, it's like, previously on Alan Wake. Then it gives you that roll of what happened in the last one. It's a great way to package the game. Now, all in all, Alan Wake is a story-heavy third-person shooter with a relatively unique central concept and a cast of characters that range from the compelling and interesting to the ludicrous and retarded. Sorry. But anyways, my recommendation for this game is open your wallet, purchase the game, and be happy. My next video will hopefully be my second Castlevania video. I'm Iokua. I hate everything. Good night.